Hello, everyone. So we have Mars at this time reaching the end of its retrograde shadow. What that means is at 28 degrees Aries is when Mars went retrograde many months ago. So now Mars is actually returning to where it was when it began this journey. And at the same time, it's completing its cycle in Aries and about to move into Taurus. So I want to just speak about the energy of this transition. One, kind of being in this place where it's completing its transition, it's completing its time in Aries. There's a lot of self-knowledge, clarity of direction that we're harvesting. But what's about to happen is Mars is moving into Taurus. It's going to square Saturn and Jupiter. Then it's going to join Uranus. So we're entering a completely new cycle right now. So it's like there's a lot of energy, a lot of movement, a lot of activity. It's like you're preparing for something. Now, when Mars enters Taurus, we're called upon to really reevaluate our sense of self-value, where our self-worth, our self-esteem comes from. One of the challenges with Mars and Taurus can be a sort of simple-mindedness. I go and I do what works, what I'm familiar with, what I know how to do. And this is because the consciousness within Taurus is oriented towards, really on some level, it's like the path of least resistance. It's what works. It's how we know how to survive. It's how we know how to ground and be here in these bodies. So there's a certain consciousness with Mars in Taurus where on the most gross, unrefined level, we will orient to do whatever feels the most comfortable and familiar so that we don't have to feel uncomfortable, right? It's like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to be insecure. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm not familiar with what to do, where I don't know how to navigate. And yet we are called upon at this time to, I would say it as grounding a little more deeply in our inherent value, in our inherent gifts, aspects of our own being, inner resourcefulness that asks us to find ground and stability in a completely new context, in a completely new environment. You know, it's like taking yourself from the city where you know how to interact, you know where to buy your food, and then putting yourself in the forest. There's a need to think differently. There's a need to step outside of the box of the conditions that we're familiar with. And our lives in many ways are opening up, expanding, growing in a significant way right now. So that we're both finding our sense of stability, self-confidence, self-value, self-ability in a way that we've never done before. We're reaching deeper to say, oh, here too, I can really open up. I can really share myself. And this brings us into relationship with other people and experiences in life that really bring something together that we couldn't possibly do on our own. Like there's a natural emergence of community and connection, a symbiotic dance that's beginning to emerge. But we have to be uncomfortable. You know, we have to be willing to embrace this discomfort and dig deeper into, okay, I can do this here, because Taurus needs stability and Mars needs self-leadership. Mars in Taurus doesn't want to feel like it doesn't know what to do or where to go or how to get what it needs. It doesn't want to feel that it's not adept and capable. And these transits, you know, it enters Taurus on the 6th of January, and then steadily for the next couple of weeks, it squares Jupiter, Saturn, then joins Uranus. So the month of January really is bringing a strong initiation to step into a little bit of an uncomfortable zone, not hold on too much to the familiar ways, and just see the growth and the elevated experiences that are provided, meaning this brings betterment to our lives and to other people's lives because we're willing to grow. We're willing to be uncomfortable. Hey, Michelle, do you want to add, I don't know if you're listening, do you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I always think that when we get to the end of the shadow period, it's like whatever has come forth as really, it's now landed inside of us as a new way of being. And so with Mars moving into completely new territory, there's a way in which we're grounded in our own will and our own direction, and a sense of self that is different than it was before. And maybe, without the challenges that arose in the last few months, we wouldn't even have the capacities. And it's also the end of the year, and it's often a time when people are really reflective of, everything that's happened in this year, and being able to look back and see like how much growth has happened. That Mars retrograde period was probably the predominant place of our work in the last 12 months. Yeah. Just honoring yourself for everything that you've been through. Really honoring the journey that we're all on.
And once again, in lieu of entering unfamiliar, uncomfortable territory, I am teaching this course that starts January 10th, the Heart and Soul Centered Astrology Essential Training Program. And I'm really excited. I got a good handful of students, all people that are very devoted and excited to study this material. Some are completely new to astrology. Some have been studying it for a long time. All of them feel this calling within to study astrology as a path to deepen their understanding of the soul's journey. You can check it out in the link below.